going on, YouTube? I'm back working on the tractor. I got a whole bunch of parts that I ordered, so we're gonna start working on them. I gotta replace the, I'll show you what I got. So I got brake bands, return springs for the brake pedals and whatnot. I got a set of springs for the seat to replace them because those are kind of sprung. That is a clutch cover. I got a, which one is this? That's a PTO gasket. That's the transmission gasket because it's kind of leaking there. These are all my front end pieces. Front wheel seals, carb kit, and a float. And of course I got my cowtails from Steiner. I got a clutch coming. I think it's supposed to be here on Tuesday, I think, and a rear main seal, so let's see if we can knock some of this stuff out before that gets here. So, I've got to take this wheel off, and so I can get in here to pull this off. Not exactly sure what holds that on, but I've got to take that off, so of course the bolts want to spin, so there we go. I got the other wheel run up on a block, so this one's kind of, it's got the pressure off of it, so push them bolts out. She's loose. Roll that out of the way over here. Need to take this guy off. I'm sure there's a nut back there, but I don't know what size it is, so I'll have to go get here in a minute when I figure out what it is. I'm not sure if that kit came with the gasket for this cover or not. This one's still good, so if it didn't, then I don't have any problem reusing this one. Put those bolts in there. And then let's go get a pair of pliers and a 15/16. Well, I got the shaft cleaned up and I got the hub cleaned up, and now I've knocked everything out. So now I've got to put this new race in. It is now much later in the day. I got called away. I had to go to the birthday party and spend a little time with the family, which, you know, it's fine. But yeah, I've got, since I'm in the shed with no lights, I've got the lights set up here, so yeah, we're gonna get this knocked out and get it back on all four legs before it before morning. So I've made it to the other side. I got the inside race pounded in, and now I've got to do the outside. So it's pretty simple. I just gotta, they're pretty handy. They come, the bearings come with the races, which is nice. So you gotta take the bearing out of the bag, set the bearing aside for a minute, and then set that on there. that one, it kind of fits right in down in there a little bit. Then take the old race and clean it up a little bit with a rag. This is not a clean job by any means, but I take a clean rag, wipe most of the grease off of it anyway. I like to try to only get dirty once, so if I can clean it up and then clean my hand up, that's what I like to do. So got that all clean, mostly cleaned up. Then since I don't have a press, I'm gonna take my hammer and just kind of tap both sides of it evenly, and it'll drive down in there evenly. And then if you'd noticed, I don't know if the camera caught it or not, but the sound changed a little bit. So, then feel, and yep, it's seated down in there. So, we're ready to pack bearings and put this one on. So, some people call me weird for it, but I actually enjoy packing bearings. So, I got my tub of grease here that I actually went and got from the farm a little bit ago, and you put your glob of grease on your palm, and then take your bearing and just kind of do one of these just kind of do one of these, and then pretty soon you'll have grease coming out the top, and then you rotate a little bit until you've got grease coming all the way, or out of the top all the way around, and then you're good to go. Just kind of push it in there a little bit. Bigger bearings are much easier to do than smaller bearings. So the inside bearing is a lot bigger than the smaller, or the outside bearing. So yeah, that looks about good. So I got the big bearing done, and this is the outside bearing. So we are ready to start putting this back together. Let's put it over here. So I got all that done, so I will no, I gotta put, forgot a step. I gotta put this sleeve in that goes for the seal that's already on the shaft, because it's a press on the shaft seal and seals the hub instead of press it in the hub and seal it on the shaft, which is kind of interesting. I don't think I've ever seen one of them before, but looking in the parts manual, it kind of makes sense. But I need to find it. So I found a piece of wood. I'm gonna lay flat on there. Just kind of do the same thing as I did with the seal. But instead of the old, not the seal, the race, but instead of using the old one, I'm using a piece of wood, because it gives before the metal will, so I won't bend this. Well, I've got my sleeve in there and I've got my bearing in there. So I think we're ready to put her on the shaft. Maybe. There we go. Now my outside bearing. Put it on there. Wipe the grease off the threads because the bearing was full of grease on the inside. Then over here I've got my washer, and I've got my castle nut. If it'll start. There we go. And I'm going to try to get some of that grease off my hand again. This is a really greasy job, which I don't mind doing bearings, but it's a very dirty job, so you don't want to be doing that when you have to go somewhere and look halfway clean. So as we tighten this, I like to spin them to make sure that they don't lose their make sure I'm not getting them too tight. My general rule of thumb, because I looked in the service manual, it really didn't specify. So my general rule of thumb is 1.5 to 2 full rotations or full revolutions of the hub while it's being tightened, and then tighten up to the next hole. So we're getting close now. That's about good. And then take my flashlight here and look for the hole. I don't remember where I put it. There it is. Actually, that might be a little tight, so I've just got to back it off just a touch. So I don't feel too bad about backing it off right here. Yeah, that'll work good. Now, sorry, I was blinding you. Gotta take my, where you at? There you are. My cotter key. I didn't stop and get new ones today, so, and the old one is fine. It's not broke or anything, so I don't have any problem reusing it. There's a glove right there that'll stick my hand on. And I need my pliers. There they are. I got kind of a mess going on here, but I like to think it's all I need. Because most people don't know this, but I worked for an airplane mechanic last summer as my summer job, because Grandpa wants us all to have other jobs, so other than the farm. So I worked for an airplane mechanic at our local airport last summer, and I did a lot of wheel bearings on airplanes, and that's kind of where I learned. I guess I really didn't learn it there, but that's kind of where I perfected it, I guess. My technique, I guess, is if that's what you want to call it. And we're ready to put the, yeah, that's good. Ready to put the cap back on. Start the bolts. start all three before you tighten one up. That goes with anything. Start all of them before you tighten one up completely. Because usually if you tighten one up completely before you start the rest, they won't line up, and then you have to loosen that first one up and wiggle it around so they all line up. Never fails. It's just easier to just wait. There. Now I have to wrestle that wheel back under there, get it bolted up. And just like that, tire's back on. I can roll it off that block now and work on something else. So I got these parts books. Well, this is the parts book, that's a service manual. But these are a wealth of knowledge, because even if you, like, say I bought this wheel bearing kit that comes with all the stuff you need, but I wasn't exactly sure how it went on there, because, well, not all of it was there to begin with. Like, there's a felt washer in there that was not there, and you know, it just shows you how everything goes in there on both sides. Gives you a part number. Well, this gives you a number, and then you come over here and look up that number, and it gives you the part number, gives you what it is. They're just, you can't beat how helpful these things are. And then this is a service manual, which it tells you all the specs that everything's supposed to be at. So yeah, these books are just the most handy thing that you can have when working on an old tractor. So I think out of all the stuff that I have left to do yet before the rest of my parts come, I think what I'm going to do tonight is do those seat springs, because they're the easiest thing, and I have to take the least amount of stuff apart yet. This stuff is for the carburetor. Dad wants to rebuild that, so I'll let him do that, because that's pretty tedious and itty-bitty stuff that, well, I could do it, but he wants to, so I'll let him. But yeah, I ordered all these parts off of SteinerTractor.com or whatever, something like, yeah, Steiner Tractor. Look that up and you'll find it. But they always send these cowtails with every order that comes. Well, I guess I don't know that they send them with every order, but every order that I've gotten, I've got them. But yeah, let's take this seat pan off. Well, I got my new springs on, but I'll have to get new washers and cotter pins for those, because they were junk. So I'll have to do that, but it's not going to go anywhere. But yeah. I think the seat latch might work now. I might have to adjust it, but the seat latch might work to keep the seat down. Oh well, that looks a lot better. Well, I believe that's going to do me in for the night. That's about all I can do without taking a lot more apart. So I think this video is plenty long, so I think I'm going to cut it off here. So I would like to thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. And if you like this kind of stuff, let me know in the comments, because there will definitely be more work on this thing. So I guess if you like it, tell me yes. If you don't, tell me no, because if you don't want to see it, I won't record it. But yeah, I think that's going to be it. So yeah, make sure to like and subscribe and do all that fun stuff. And so we'll see you in the next one.